In this video we'll be exploring butterfly pose in yin yoga. So for this you may need some blocks and possibly some cushions as well, or a bolster if you have one to hand. So the first thing to mention with regards to butterfly pose is that it offers a stretch in the inner thighs and inner groin, targeting the liver and kidney meridian. And across the lower back, it can decompress the sacrum at the end of the spine and release tensions in the lower back. However, some people may find this pose a little bit problematic if you're suffering with sciatica. So approach this pose, as always, mindfully. One of the ways to get around this issue if you have sciatica is by taking yourself up onto a prop, for example a block, just to help with that anterior pelvic tilt. And likewise, if you're seated here and just find that your frontal hip points slump back and you just can't get them forward, and all the rounding is coming through the mid and upper back, then again take yourself up onto that prop to help come forward with a little bit of a longer spine to access that stretch in the lower back. So this pose works with the liver meridian, as I said, which belongs to the wood element in Chinese medicine, and you may also target a stretch through the area of all the way along the spine, which is the urinary bladder meridian, and you might also find it's a nice pose to bring some awareness into the area of the kidneys when you're rounded forward, so working with the energy of the kidney meridian, which belongs to the water element. Depending how you want to approach it, you can have your feet closer to you, which is going to take more of an intense stretch into the inner thighs, or a lot further away from you, which is going to target the stretch, move the stretch a lot more into your lower back area. And before rounding forward, it also might be worth having a play about with some props, such as some blocks. I actually like cushions, and I like to take them underneath my lower leg there, or if your legs are higher up, if you don't have as open hips, then by all means go ahead and take some kind of blocks there underneath the backs of your thighs. So depending how far your legs drop out to the side, the important thing is that we can completely surrender this gripping that happens in the groin and completely release forward into as relaxed state as possible. So whatever you need to do in order to sustain comfortably, but to a point of stimulation, whereby we feel this stress in the tissues, we feel that energy activating and moving, however we're not having to grip or tense in the pose in order to stay there. So once you've sorted out whether you need to come up onto a prop, whether you need for the anterior pelvic tilt, how you'd like to prop your legs. It's not necessary to prop your legs, but it may make it just slightly more accessible for you, this deep release in the groin area. And then we begin to play about with coming forward, and we have a look at how far, as I said, this sort of diamond shape is, the dimensions of this diamond shape in front of you that you're creating with your legs, and whether you want to start coming to prop your head. So you can take a block for your elbows, or you can start to come a little bit further forward. I sometimes like to hold the blocks between my feet, and then you start playing about with where you would like to be. And of course, we're never pushing ourselves into the pose. We're finding this kind of natural edge, and then we're allowing time, gravity, conscious breathing to drop as deeper as we unravel into the experience of the pose. And you don't even necessarily need to come straight forward. You can maybe take your hands slightly over to one side. And this is a nice way to kind of focus breathing more into the opposite kidney to the direction that you've gone, and then take it over to the other side, or maybe you stay slightly off center for the whole time, and that's absolutely fine too. One other thing to note here, if you have any discomfort in the front of the groin, any soft tissue pinching in the hip crease, this can happen to people who are more mobile in the hips, then go ahead and just pop a little prop in there, a little rolled up blanket or a couple of eye pillows if you have them to hand, or a towel, and that can just make that a little bit more comfortable for you for moving forward into the pose. So when you're coming out of the pose, just apply a very light amount of pressure into your hands and kind of roll up, back up through the spine. Maybe taking your hands underneath your legs, extending your legs out in front of you. And then from here, you have this nice place to be able to take a rebound and integrate the effects of the pose before moving on to the next one. So that is butterfly pose. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching, and namaste.